We are currently at a mission elapsed time of 17 hours and 21 minutes and counting. The Orion spacecraft is just over 40,000 miles away from Earth and over 231,000 miles away from the Moon. While we're on the air with you right now, the crew is taking a short nap after having completed the scheduled activities for Flight Day 1. Coming up, the mission management team will be meeting to make a go, no-go decision for the Trans-Lunar Injection, or TLI. This burn is the last major engine firing of the mission. It propels Orion on a path towards the Moon and sets it on a free return trajectory that will ultimately bring it back to Earth for splashdown. This is because Orion is using a free return trajectory to swing around the far side of the Moon, and the TLI engine firing also puts Orion on a path to return to Earth on Flight Day 10. Orion's main engine on the spacecraft's European Service Module, also called the Orbital Maneuvering System engine, will provide up to 6,000 pounds of thrust, enough to accelerate a car from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 2.7 seconds. Pending the go, no-go decision for TLI, the burn is now scheduled for tonight at 6:49 and 50 seconds p.m. Central Time, using Integrity's Orbital Maneuvering System engine. This is anticipated to be a 5-minute and 51-second burn with a change in velocity to 1,272 feet per second. Once again, TLI commits Orion to the rest of this 10-day mission to enable humans to break out of low Earth orbit for the first time since Apollo 17 on December 7, 1972. This is Mission Control Houston. The activities that have taken place over the last day. Here are your flight day highlights.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us live from NASA's Kennedy Space Center, where we are beginning a new chapter in America's human spaceflight story. We are so humbled to have thousands of people here in person to witness this, and the many more watching online from around the world. I'm NASA's Megan Cruz, and this is NASA astronaut Nicole Ayers.
Thanks, Megan. What a historic day to be here.
What a historic day to be here. Obviously, for what we see right behind us here, the SLS rocket and Orion spacecraft on Launch Pad 39B. Artemis 2 is a nearly 10-day flight test to prove NASA can safely fly astronauts around the moon before attempting to land on it in just 2 years, hopefully.
Yes, like you said, it's a test flight, so we're going to put humans.
Mira este trabajo, podría ser tuyo si haces lo que te cuento.
Inside of the Launch Control Center, they kicked off continuous around-the-clock operations just before 5 p.m. on Monday and started fueling the rocket about 4 hours ago.
That com cap will also connect into the suit, which then eventually connects into the capsule through an umbilical there. So there's a lot of cords and wires. You can see them tuck in that cord under his chin right now.
And so the suits they're wearing, they're called the Orion Crew Survival Suits, or OX suits. And so they're worn for launch and reentry or during high-risk or emergency situations.
And welcome into Firing Room 1, a historic firing room here at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here reporting what's happening as we lead up to countdown and liftoff of Artemis 2. So far, looking pretty good. You see the rocket out there on the pad. It is launch day, and we just got that crew weather brief that you were talking about from Launch Director Charlie Blackwell Thompson to the crew. It looks like a countdown at this point is in good shape, and that's great news. Fueling continues to track well. We just reached all stages replenished.
Now, Reed Weissman is a Baltimore native. He's been in space once before as flight engineer for Expedition 41 aboard the International Space Station from May through November 2014. And so now here we are, pilot Victor Glover. NASA selected the California native as an astronaut in 2013. At the time, he was actually serving as a legislative fellow in the United States Senate. His first trip to space was in November 2020 when he launched as pilot of NASA's SpaceX Crew 1 mission. That was the first operational mission of NASA's Commercial Crew program. And so it looks like Christina here has completed her suit leak checks as well, her communication checks too.
Yep, they've already got her gloves off. They're getting ready to kind of hang out and relax a little bit, I think, before they walk out.
She is a mission specialist for this mission, native of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Was selected to the astronaut corps in 2013, so actually same class as Victor. And last but not least, first-time flyer, Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen will fly to the moon as a mission specialist on the Artemis 2 mission. The London, Ontario native was selected as an astronaut in 2009. After that, he worked as CATCOM at NASA's Mission Control Center in Houston.
The team you see here in this room today has been training extensively to prepare for the highly dynamic phase of flight that begins shortly after engine ignition. Teams here will be monitoring the flight of the Space Launch System, Orion, and of course the Artemis 2 crew on board as they make their way from the Kennedy Space Center into Earth orbit.
Yes, a pre-flight tradition that we have seen with our crewed flights and our astronauts, the card game, Nicole.
Yeah, this is a fun time for the crew. Kind of relax a little bit, play a card game with the chief. You can see Scott Tingle there is the dealer today. Looks like they're playing high card wins. So Victor won. He's out now. Jeremy's out. There are two schools of thought on this game. Either you want to get rid of all your bad luck or go out on a high note. So it looks like the crew chose we're going out on a high note.
Now, the SLS, or the Space Launch System, very big, very powerful. It is going to be producing 8.8 million pounds of thrust at launch. And like I mentioned, very large, as you can see here, going to stand about 322 feet tall with Orion there on top, just a little bit taller than the Statue of Liberty.
And here we are, the closeout crew in the White Room getting ready for the astronauts who have just left crew suit up and are now walking down a hallway to greet some family and friends downstairs. Commander Reed Weissman, Pilot Victor Glover, Mission Specialist Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen. And here they are, NASA's Artemis 2 crew. Commander Reed Weissman, pilot Victor Glover and mission specialist Christina Cook and Jeremy Hansen taking their first steps outside for their historic test flight. To a wonderful applause from the crowd. They're looking really excited
Some
and
big
really
smiles.
ready.
I love that.
Out here. It's a great day for us. Great day for this team.
A few words from Reed. Great day for us, the team, he said. Thumbs up, more thumbs up. Of course, a lot of pictures. We hear some camera shutter clicks back there. I love the energy of this crowd. Let's go. And so now the crew walking over to each of their pens. The first people closest to them, of course, their family members who got to quarantine with them, correct?
Yes.
You heard Reed there saying thank you guys as the crowd picks up again with their applause and the four of them step into their Astrovan.